All right, guys, welcome to another video. Just like I start all my videos, thank you guys for my new subscribers. Thank you for my previous subscribers. Thank you for everyone that's left comments in the sections below. And so I wanted to get this video out here because I've gotten a lot of questions and also from my family members. But frankly, there's a lot of new people buying electric vehicles these days. There's a lot of discounts, deals, especially from Tesla, Rivian with these new leases coming on board. But there's a lot of confusion out there on how to charge. And I've seen people rent from like Hertz and all these car rental companies, and they get the vehicle and they don't know where to charge or anything like that. Now, it's a very simple or more simple if you have a Tesla, a little more complicated if you don't, but in a way they all kind of mesh together these days. So for those that don't know, I have a 2018 Tesla Model 3, which is right here, looking good, enjoying that sunlight. But so I've been driving electric for about 5-6 years now. So I'm pretty well rounded on what options are available out there. And I just want to give you guys some insight. If you're, considering getting an electric vehicle, you're unsure about charging stations, things like that, I just want to help you guys with this video, and this is for you. So for those that are used to, electric vehicles, you've been driving a Tesla or whatever for the last few years, you're probably, you probably know all this stuff. But this is for those people that's considering getting an electric vehicle or just got one, and you're like, what the heck is going on? Because it's not just like gas cars where every gas station works, you can go to that. You have to really kind of plan a little bit more if you have an EV. So first and foremost, I want to let you guys know, for me and for my opinion, since I've been driving electric vehicles, there are three main chargers or charging options that you have. And I'm going to give you my opinion from having a Tesla, but it also kind of goes with Rivians and other vehicles. But first and foremost, if you can, option one is to charge at home. So let me show you what I do. In the corner, I have a Tesla wall connector. It's attached to a 60 amp breaker, and I also have a 240 volt outlet. At a minimum, if you're charging from your home, you want to make sure you have either a Tesla wall connector. Now this one only operates with Tesla vehicles right now, but new vehicles coming in 2025 are all transitioning to this port. So it should work with new vehicles in the future, starting in like 2025 once they have the Tesla port. But push come to shove, just get a 240 volt outlet. Very easy, just a dryer outlet. Make sure it's placed in the garage and use the cord. If it doesn't come with your vehicle, they should have an option where you can buy a 240 volt outlet cord. Use that. That'll give you about, potentially, depending on the vehicle, maybe charge at a rate of 25 or 25-ish miles per hour. The wall connector, I think my vehicle is charging at about between 32, 36 miles per hour. These are the best options. I started off with a 240 volt, and then I got the Tesla wall connector because it was a free thing for my Tesla referrals. And I definitely appreciate you guys for using that because I'm able to test that and make sure that it works properly. So at a minimum, make sure you have a 240 volt outlet in your house, in your garage, if you're considering getting a electric vehicle in the near term or near future, because it makes your life a lot easier. I typically, if I charge or plug in towards the night, I only have to, it usually takes about 5 to 6 hours to fill up, and that's just in my Model 3. Now, of course, if you have a bigger car with a bigger battery, it may take longer, but at a minimum, you want those speeds. Now, what you do not want to do is use a normal 120 volt outlet. It's going to take forever, and even in my Tesla Model 3, if I plug into this outlet, it may take over 24 to 36 hours to get to a full charge, and that really depends on what percentage the battery is. So just to summarize, option one, charge at home. It's the most convenient. It's what you're going to use probably 95 to 99% of the time. You're not making road trips every so often. And my car goes about 250-ish to 300 miles of range. I work remotely, but even when I was commuting, I always was able to get to work probably 2 to 3 days in a row without charging. And then that final third day, I would just plug it in and be at 80-90% the next day. And that gives me that allows me to drive another 3 days to work. So if you have a home, a lot more convenient because you're not using third-party stations, but there are options. If you have to charge away from home, you don't have the option to charge at home, there are options, and I've done that too. So we're gonna go to option two. Now, option two is the Tesla Supercharger network. Now, this only works with Tesla vehicles for the most part. it's changing a little bit differently today or these days because Tesla is opening up the supercharger network to other manufacturers, or they're getting into deals with these manufacturers because they realize other third-party networks aren't the best. So what they're doing, they're opening up the Tesla supercharger network so that other manufacturers can utilize their network with their vehicles. But if you have a Tesla, it's not something you have to worry about at this point. The supercharger network is what I use primarily anytime I'm doing a travel because it's very reliable. I typically do not have issues with Tesla supercharger networks, and they have different variants where they have slow charge networks or slow speeds, if like a 72 kilowatt, which is not too slow, but it's slower than the road trip type speed. And these types of superchargers, which I'm actually going to go to soon, these are usually located in shopping centers. So if you're going in a Target or you're in the mall or something, sometimes they have these slower chargers. So it takes, it may take maybe 40 minutes to an hour to charge up to where you want it to go. And like I said, this always depends on what arrival your percentage is. So yeah, Tesla supercharger network, if you're navigating on a road trip or something, put that in a Tesla GPS or navigation system. It will route you through all the Tesla supercharger networks or stations along the way. It lets you know how long you need to stay there to charge, plug in, and you're good to go. It's very easy. There's so many Tesla superchargers out there. Don't worry about that, especially if you got a Tesla. Like, I've lived in Oklahoma City, I've lived in St. Louis, I live in LA now, which is a lot of superchargers out here, but I've lived everywhere with this car, and well, at least those 3 places, and never had an issue finding a supercharger. And it's even better these days because they're just really cranking them out, building new stations. All right, so another cool thing about the Tesla supercharger network is that if you have a Tesla account and you own a Tesla, you're gonna have a credit card linked to that account. So when you pull up to the Tesla superchargers, most of them do not have screens or anything like that, or a credit card terminal or reader so you can swipe your card. It's already utilizing that credit card that's existing on your file or in the app. So all you got to do is grab the handle, plug it into your car. It authenticates automatically, and you're good to go. It starts charging, and I will show you that really quickly once I get to the station. But it's just really reliable. It's very easy, very good, just simple, good to go. The manufacturers that do work right now on Tesla superchargers, including, in Tesla, is Ford EV, so the Mach-E and the Ford Lightning pickup truck, as well as Rivian, which was announced, I think, earlier this week. Now Rivians can also utilize certain supercharger networks, which it should route those individuals in their in-car navigation as well to Tesla superchargers. So let's recap real quick. Option 1, charge at home for your day-to-day stuff, going to work, going back home, day-to-day. If you're on a road trip or you just need that charge, you went out, you did a lot of stuff, went camping or something, you may need an extra quick charge, go to a Tesla supercharger network. If you have a Tesla, if you have a car that works with Tesla superchargers, you may want to consider that, see how close other chargers are. And, Tesla is pretty reliable, so you may want to utilize that. Option 3 is you can typically use a ChargePoint charger. These are level 2 chargers, so typically they charge at about 6.6 kilowatts. Just like the slower speed Tesla superchargers, they're typically located in apartment complexes, shopping centers, things of that nature. So you can get a slow charge, probably take 4 to 5 hours. It's kind of similar to a home charge, but while you're at a mall, you may as well get some charge along those lines. And when you're utilizing ChargePoint, you have to have a ChargePoint app. The good thing is the Tesla charger that I'm going to go to has ChargePoint stations right next to it. So I will show you at least how that works. But you need an adapter. So if you have a Tesla, you will need an adapter to utilize those connections or connectors because they're J1772. Typically, Tesla will give you an adapter when you get the car for free. So you don't have to really worry about that. If you have a Rivian or any other manufacturer outside of Tesla, they already have the necessary plug to utilize those. So for them, they need an adapter to utilize the Tesla supercharger network. So it's a little different there, but long story short, you need an adapter, you need an account with ChargePoint. So they will send you a physical card that you can put money onto that card, or you can use, if you have an iPhone or maybe an Android, I'm not sure if it works on Android or not, but you have a digital card that you can swipe or NFC at the terminal and it will automatically charge. That's what I do with my phone. And then it will unlock the cord and you just put that in the car with the adapter and you're good to go. Lastly, this is kind of including, option 3. There's also Electrify America chargers. Now these are, fast chargers, typically similar to superchargers or Tesla superchargers. These are for pretty much any vehicle outside of Tesla to utilize. They will give you speeds up to, I think, 350 kilowatts, which is very fast, but unfortunately these chargers are unreliable. They do not work all the time, but when they do work, they're really great. I've charged on those with a Porsche Taycan, with a Lucid, some other vehicles, and they work good. You know, some of them work, some of them don't. They a lot of the times they're out of order, which is why a lot of manufacturers are kind of transitioning to Tesla superchargers. And I hope that, you know, just for competition's sake, that Electrify America gets their act together, they make them better. So yeah, so those are the three options. I'm going to take you to at least show you how to interact with a Tesla supercharger network or with the Tesla superchargers, as well as a ChargePoint real quick and how that works. But long story short, if you can, charge at home. If not, there are options. Just make sure you plan your trip. Make sure you have the account for the necessary charger. And outside of these, there are other charger manufacturers out there, and they all typically require you to have an app to utilize those chargers. All of them do not have pay terminals, but some of them do, where you can just swipe a card and it will work. Those are probably the easiest to deal with, so you don't have to download an application. But for ChargePoint, you need to have an application because they do not have credit card terminals. Electrify America, they do have credit card terminals. So some of them do, some of them are out of order. You just want to make sure you have the app just in case, so you don't have to worry about that, because you can also authenticate the charger before you get there or when you get there, and do it remotely without even swiping your card or anything like that. So let's head to the Tesla supercharger real quick, because I got to get some groceries, and I will show you, just how to plug it in. It's pretty simple, and let's go. All right, guys, so you find me here in my Tesla Model 3. It is very easy to find superchargers, and if you haven't watched any of my road trip videos, this is good for you, or good information if you're new to Tesla. So when you're on the normal screen with the map, all you got to do is tap. It will bring up this menu on the right side. All you got to do is hit that lightning icon, and it will show you all the different chargers that are nearby. As you can see, at least in my area, there are a considerable amount of chargers nearby, and it also tells you how many stalls are available. So the one I'm going to here is Supercharger Corona, 5 miles away, has 12 open stalls. So all you got to do is hit it, and we're good to go. That's how simple it is to find a charger. And like I said before, if you navigate, say, I'm in California, if I was navigating to, let's say, Colorado or something along those lines, it will route you through every individual charger that you need to stop along the way. So it's very easy in a Tesla, and it's getting easier in other vehicles as well. But with the Tesla supercharger network, it's just second to none. It's just a very great, reliable network because it gives you all this information, and it's just great to use. So let's head that way now. All right, guys, on another note, look at this view. We got the nice green mountains in the background. Just a nice, beautiful day to be traveling. So, well, at least going up the street to the supercharger network. So I'll check in with you guys when I get there. All right, guys, so we have arrived at the Tesla supercharger. All right, guys, so I've just arrived at the Tesla supercharger network. So let's get plugged in, and then I'm gonna probably head into Target real quick. All right, guys, so this is how the Tesla supercharger looks. Very clean. All these Teslas are here, but all you got to do is grab this handle here. It's not connected to anything. It just comes out. Hit this button. Opening will open automatically, and just plug it in and wait for that blue light to turn green, and you're good to go. Let's check inside. Alrighty, it's saying here starting to charge. We're gonna wait for that to hit click, and then I'm gonna head out. But as you can see across the street, we have the ChargePoint chargers with one Tesla Model 3, a Fiat 500 electric plugged in, and then one extra ChargePoint charger there as well. So if I'm able to, I'll plug in over there just to give an example. But yeah, this is a supercharger network. It's definitely probably the most convenient one because you don't have to worry about any cards or anything like that. You just plug in, you're ready to go. So I have about 15 minutes remaining, and I'm getting about 70 kilowatts of electricity right now, which these are max. I think these max out at 75 kilowatts, so or 72 kilowatts if I'm not mistaken. So that's pretty good. And I have it set to 80%. So I'm gonna increase that, or actually set to 70. I'm gonna increase that to 85 or 86, whatever. And I'm gonna go into Target because right now free supercharging, so it doesn't really matter for me how long it's plugged in. I just want to make sure it's charging while I'm inside. So let's go into Target, and I will see you guys when I come back. All right, guys, so I just made it out of Target. Just was sitting in the car for a bit, charging. But I don't need the charge here. Like I said, this one is maxed at 72 kilowatts. I really don't need the charge. I could charge at home. So this is mainly for you guys to just show you guys how easy it is to charge here, at least at a Tesla Supercharger. So I'm going to go ahead and plug the car and literally drive a few feet across the street to plug into a charge point, just so I could show you guys that process. Really not too difficult as long as you have the ChargePoint application and you have a updated credit card on file. And that you need to make sure your credit card on file is the same whether or not you're on a Tesla Supercharger or on a ChargePoint. I will say that when your credit card is not on file or it needs to be updated for Tesla, it will show you in the car user interface that your credit card associated with your account is expired or something, and you need to input the new card. So that's really great. So it's a visual indicator that you can see it. ChargePoint, it will send you typically an email or something along those lines, maybe a push notification. I honestly can't remember because I haven't changed that in a while. But it does notify you as well that your card is incorrect and needs to be updated as well. So at least there's some measures in place to make sure that you're good to go. But mainly for ChargePoint, just make sure you have the app, because no matter if you have a credit card or not on your persons, you need to have the app and you need to be approved before you can actually utilize the charger. So let's go ahead and unplug real quick. Press that button. It's going to turn white, good to unplug, and then you just hook it back and it stays put. Thing closes automatically. All right, we're going to literally drive right across the street. So here we go. All right, guys, so I just pulled in front of the ChargePoint charger. Like I said before, you're going to have to use this adapter to plug in the car. This is going to be a little difficult because I can't one-hand this, so I may put the phone down for a bit. But I'm going to use my watch to authenticate with the virtual card. And then once it clicks, I'm going to put the adapter in and plug it into the car. And we're going to go from there. So let's do this. Yep. All righty. So I'm going to use my watch. NFC, it clicks. It's authorizing. It just clicked. So I'm able to unplug. I'm going to have to put you guys down. So it doesn't open automatically, so it opens when I press it and you just put it in. Yeah, so you're good to go. And then it's already charging. So as you can see, it's still ramping up. Sorry, a little focus error here. It's at 3 kilowatts, 4 kilowatts. It should go up to about 6. And then it's going to stop. But you can see now it says hour and 10 minutes remaining because it's a slower charge. 7. So I think it's probably going to max out 6 or 7. So that is ChargePoint. Authenticated with my watch. My credit card is linked to my ChargePoint account. And now it's charging. So make sure you have the adapter. Make sure you have the ChargePoint account. But these are the 3 options that you have. All right, guys. So in conclusion, option 1, the best option is to charge at home. The second option is to make sure that if you're traveling or anything like that, that you're routing in your navigation system. And if you have a Tesla, you're most likely going to be using the Tesla Supercharger network. So make sure that you always input the GPS location in your navigation so that it routes you through the necessary charging locations. Lastly, if you're using a third-party charger that's not a Tesla Supercharger and you have a Tesla and it's not utilizing that specific Tesla cable or charger cable, make sure you have that adapter. It comes with every Tesla that you purchase. So if you get a used one, make sure they give you that adapter. Maybe the previous owner may have taken it, but make sure you get an adapter. If you have to order from Amazon, whatever, just make sure you have that adapter because it's useful. And that's what CCS and all these, or not CCS, that's what ChargePoint and all these different manufacturers utilize right now, because all the other vehicles outside of Tesla utilize this adapter, as well as Tesla provides this adapter. So you can still use these chargers. So ChargePoint is great. You'll see them a lot in the shopping centers like here. Tesla Superchargers are great because they're usually fast and convenient and reliable, easy to set up. And all you got to do is press the button, put in. You don't have to worry about authenticating with your watch or your phone or anything like that. Thirdly, you have other chargers like ChargePoint and Electrify America where you have to have an account. The ChargePoint door doesn't open automatically. You have to manually hit the hit it with your palm and it will open. Have to have the adapter, have to make sure you have an account with an updated credit card, and then you're able to use that. So this is a little quick video. I could go more in depth, but if you guys have any specific questions or any more questions about this, please let me know. I'm here to help you guys. It's just my mom and everyone got these new new electric vehicles, and there's a lot of confusion about that. And there's other manufacturers, charging manufacturers out there. This is just the main ones I've seen, and that is ChargePoint, Electrify America, Tesla, Superchargers. And so the good thing about Tesla is typically it can use all the chargers, but not every car can use Tesla Superchargers. So keep that in mind. If you have a Tesla, you're in the best position because you have access to Tesla Superchargers, and really you don't even have to use any of these other chargers. But ChargePoint is really good because sometimes they're in good locations and shopping centers, and while you're shopping, you may as well be charging. That's what I think. So let me know in the comment section below if you agree and if you have any questions or concerns, and I will talk to you guys later. Peace.